How is everybody doing? Day 20. Wow, a week and a day left. But day 20, we're continuing with Dr. Gutman's 7 principle of happy marriages, which he says again that masters of marriage, you know, for lack of a better word, master, they know these things, and therefore they live better and happier lives and better marriages. So, what is this lesson? And this lesson comes together with tomorrow's lesson. But first, we're going to lay down the groundwork today. And that is solve your solvable problems. This is so brilliant, by the way. It seems simple, but it's so brilliant. When we're in a marriage, when we're together with somebody, we're together with them all the time. Everything we do is together. Therefore, there's sometimes never a distinction between one argument and another. It lumps, it snowballs, it just continues. And in reality, there are 2 types of arguments. You can break arguments down into a lot of groups, but in this way, there's 2 types of arguments: solvable and unsolvable. There's some arguments that are just solvable. You can fix them. There are some arguments that are perpetual. They're unsolvable. They'll always be there. You can never fix it, not in a million years. That's called, living with somebody else that's different than you. There are some problems that are solvable. For just to give you an example, but the Arab-Israeli conflict is probably a perpetual problem because it's unsolvable. I mean, at its core, they want us off the map. We want to stay on the map. That's unsolvable. So let's take this to marriage. In marriage, says Dr. Gutman, according to his statistics, 69% of arguments are solvable. There's only 31% of arguments that are unsolvable. But what we do is we lump them all together. For example, here's a lady who's upset at her husband always, constantly, because he's a mess. He throws his stuff on the floor. He doesn't put his jacket down. And she, for some reason, translates that as being almost an affront to her, disrespectful to her. So one day she asks him, could you please throw out the garbage? And he forgets. The next day she asks him, could you please throw out the garbage? You forgot last week. And I had to go ahead and roll it, and I'm 6 months pregnant. And he says, yes, I'll remember. And he left and he forgot. To her, she just lumps it all together. He's a mess. He doesn't care about me. He also doesn't take out the garbage. He doesn't care about me. Doesn't listen to a word I say. And doesn't give a damn. It does nothing. And now the narrative in the marriage becomes, he does nothing, which is the furthest thing from the truth. That's a very solvable problem. He probably wants to take out the garbage. He probably intends on taking out the garbage. Yeah, him being messy is probably an unsolvable problem. It's a perpetual problem. With time, it will get better. And with time, his wife will learn to deal with it. But that's tomorrow's lesson, the unsolvable problems. But today we're talking about the solvable problems. If you don't know the difference, everything gets lumped up together. You have to make a distinction. The garbage is a very solvable problem. If this couple would call me up, I would tell them very simple. Put a reminder in his phone before he leaves, or put a post-it note by the door before he leaves to take out the garbage. And that's it. He'll remember. Or, next time he doesn't take out the garbage, you don't take out the garbage. And you tell him, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. You have to go now to the, plant, 7 blocks away and carry the garbage there and take it to the central, Department of Sanitation. And he'll always now remember because he would have gotten a natural consequence. But there are ways of solving that issue, but we lump them all together. Also, so we have to learn the difference between solvable and unsolvable problems. There are perpetual problems that will keep coming around and going, and you'll never change them. In fact, it's amazing that when we get married, every person that gets married, you're automatically taking a package of unsolvable problems. This person is going to be different than you, and you're not going to get along perfectly. You're taking on 31% of unsolvable problems, but 69% you can solve. So you got to sit down and you got to think, is this a solvable problem or it's an unsolvable problem? If it's a solvable problem, solve it. Here's a guy, let's just say, who wants his wife to spend less money. And he looks at it like it's unsolvable. She's out of control. She's always shopping, she's always this, and she's always buying this, and she doesn't care about my money. And that's not necessarily true. Let's not lump everything she has done and every dollar she spent in one, let's not paint with a broad brush, so to speak. Let's localize it. What did she spend money on this time? A new pair of boots? So that's solvable. We can ask her that before she spends, if she's spending money for the kids, I understand. But spending money on something that's a luxury, we could discuss with her. You understand? But you have to realize where the line is between solvable and unsolvable. Every couple has their arguments. I could give you a million examples, but every couple has their arguments. Every couple has their spots where they disagree. And every couple has that line where it's the 31% or the 69%. 31% solvable and unsolvable, 69% unsolvable. You have to realize and recognize what are the unsolvable problems and leave those alone for a little bit. You're not changing the person. Again, in time, you learn to deal with it, and the other person learns to get a little bit better, and opposite way around with your 31%. But with the solvable problems, you have to tackle them and you have to deal with them. So money issues happen because men are afraid to actually have a normal conversation with their wife, because their wives react in a defensive mode or in an attack mode, because women are very emotional. But if we keep our cool and have the discussion once, and maybe twice, maybe it's a third time we have the discussion, and we never lose our cool, we keep just keeping the same line, this can be taken care of. I really want to work this out. No, but you don't understand. Okay, when you're ready to work it out, let's have a discussion. In time, guaranteed, she will come to the table and a discussion will be had. But you have to be firm, and you have to be calm, and you have to be easy, and you have to be prepared, and you have to be thinking of the benefit of the marriage in total, not of your benefit. For instance, having your wife do something for you that's only for you and not good for her, that's not fixing a solvable problem. That's not gonna work. She's just doing something for you, which may, in time, be important for the marriage, but you have to be thinking of the marriage. The marriage has to be the main component. Have a great day. All right, so because our thing was today, solve your solvable problems, and tomorrow it's going to be how to tackle the unsolvable problems. So our job for today is going to be very easy, to make a list. Sit down with yourself and make a list. What are the biggest issues I have with my wife? What are things that I want her to change? And then look at that list and see, in reality, what are things that you're going to change and what are things you're not going to change? Now, usually the way things go is women usually have more problems with us than we have with them, but make a list anyway. You'll probably see that a lot of the things you're not able to change and you're going to have to learn to live with, and in time she will end up improving those traits. That's the way good marriages go. But you'll see that majority of them are solvable when you actually say, wait, there's a solution here. If we actually think betterment for the marriage, win-win, not win-lose, let's think what's the best way to tackle this problem. We could probably figure it out and take it off our plate. Never have it be a fight again. Get it off. So make a list.